Hello friends. In this video we will talk about some updates with the Material 3 library. Some changes have occurred in Android Studio. One of these changes is that the toolbar, or top app bar that we use in our applications, is no longer in the design area by default. We need to add this ourselves. In this video we will learn how we can add the top app bar. First, let's talk briefly about the top app bar. The top app bar provides content and actions related to the current screen. It is also known as Action Bar. It's used for branding, screen titles, navigation, and actions. Let's look at its anatomy. The recommended placement of elements in a top app bar for left to right languages is place the navigation icon on the far left. Place any titles to the right of the navigation. Place contextual actions to the right of the navigation. If you use an overflow menu, place it to the far right. For right to left languages, placement positions should be flipped. All icons and text are elements of the bar container, and these elements are optional. If you want, you can only create a title or a navigation icon. It is entirely up to you. With the Material 3 update, we can talk about 4 different types of top app bars. These are center-aligned, small bar, medium, and large top app bars. You can see these on the slide. There is not much difference between them in terms of usage. Small is usually preferred for phones, but this is not a rule. Of course, you can use the others if you want. There is no restriction for this. Okay, after these informations, let's learn the implementation of the top app bar now. Let's create a new project first. I click on New Project. From this page, select the phone and tablets option. Now we need to choose a template. If you are going to develop an Android application with Jetpack Compose, you should choose the empty activity template. But if you are going to develop an application with Java or Kotlin, more precisely, if your application design will be with XML codes, you should choose the Empty Views Activity template. While the Empty Activity template was selected for Java and Kotlin in previous versions, the name of these templates has now changed. If you are going to create a Jetpack Compose project, you should choose the Empty Activity template, and to create a Java or Kotlin project that you will design using XML codes, you should choose the Empty Views Activity option. You should pay attention to this. Since we will not create a Compose project in this video, I choose the Empty Views Activity option. On this page, we will configure our project. Let the name of the project be Implementing Top App Bar. I will not change the package name of the project, nor will I change the location where the project will be saved. The programming language will be Kotlin. The minimum SDK level can be 24. Finally, we need to choose a configuration language for our project to be built from here. We can choose the recommended option, Kotlin DSL or Groovy DSL. DSL is short for domain-specific language. I choose Kotlin DSL. Finally, I click the Finish button to create the project. Our project is being created. This may take some time. I will speed it up here. Yes, our project has been created. First, let's open the activity main.xml file. Let's click on the eye icon here and select the Show System UI option. As you can see, the status bar appears by default in the design area. But if you notice, the toolbar, the top app bar, is no longer visible. Now we will add it ourselves. Before adding this, let's talk about how you can switch to the old version, namely the Material component instead of Material 3. Then we can continue with the Material 3 library. Therefore, let's open the theme.xml file from the project directory. If you notice, there are 2 separate theme files for both light mode and dark mode. For now, we will only talk about light mode. You can also do similar operations for dark mode. So let's open the theme file for light mode. If you notice, the Material 3 library is used here. Now let's convert it to the previous version. I write Material Component instead of Material 3. And here I am changing it from no action bar to dark action bar. Now let's open the activity main.xml file again. As you can see, the action bar now appears, but we need to make a color arrangement. Let's open the theme file again. Here we will customize the colors of the status bar and the action bar. Here is a sample line already commented out. Let's normalize this line first. If you notice, the name of this item is Color Primary. In the Material Design library, the toolbar gets its color from the color primary. Now we need to assign a color to it. If you want, let's define the colors we will use in the color.xml file. I open the colors.xml file. Currently, black and white colors are defined here by default. We will define 5 more colors. So I'm duplicating this line 5 times. You can perform duplication by pressing Ctrl and D keys. If the shortcut doesn't work for you, you can also copy-paste. Now let's define our colors in order. First, we will define the colors that appear in the components we use frequently in our applications, which we call primary colors. The name of the first color will be Purple 200. The color code will also be FFBB86FC. This color will be the color of the action bar in the dark theme. The name of the second color will be Purple 500. The color code will be FF6200EE. This color will be the color of the action bar in the light theme. The name of the third color will be Purple 700. The code of the color will be FF3700B3. This color will represent the color of the status bar in both light and dark modes. These are our primary colors. The other 2 colors will be for the colors we call secondary colors, which we use to highlight some components a little more. For example, when you use a floating action button in your application, this button will use the secondary color. Now let's define the last 2 colors. The name of this color will be Teal 200. The code of the color will be FF03DAC5. The last color will be called Teal 700. The code of the color will be FF018786. Yeah, so we define the colors to be used by the system. Now let's assign these colors to the relevant fields in the theme file. Color primary's color will be Purple 500. This is where the toolbar gets its color. The next item will be the color primary variant. The color of this will also be Purple 700. This is where the status bar gets its color. The next item will be color on primary. Its color will also be white. Usually, the text on the components gets their color from here. These are our primary colors. Now let's assign the secondary colors. The first item will be color secondary. The color of this will be Teal 200. The second item will be the color secondary variant. The color of this will also be Teal 700. The last item will be color on secondary. Its color will also be black. Yeah, so we've also done the color assignments. Finally, we need to add the status bar color item to define the color of the status bar. I'm opening a new item tag. It will be called Android Status Bar Color. Its color will be the same as the color of the color primary variant. That is, it will be purple 700. That's why I'm going to put a question mark here first. Later, I will write ATTR, which is short for attribute. I will write color primary variant after slash. Thus, we have assigned this color to the status bar. You can also use the color purple 700 directly here, but it would be more accurate to write it this way. Yes, our theme file is ready. Now let's go back to the activity main.xml file. The design area is being refreshed. And as you can see, the color of the action bar and status bar have changed. Yes, friends, if you want to use the material component, which is the previous version instead of material 3, you can add the toolbar this way and assign the color in this way. So what if you want to use the material 3 library? Let's look at this now. First of all, let's specify that we will use the material 3 library in the theme file and turn the items we defined there into comments again. I delete the material component here and replace it with material 3. Also, this will be no action bar. Yes, now let's turn the items here into comments. We will use these items again soon. I'm just doing it this way to show everything from scratch. Yes, now let's go back to the activity main.xml file. Yes, as you can see, the top app bar is no longer in the design field. Now we will add it ourselves. You can use the palette here to create a toolbar. From the palette, you must first add the app bar layout component to the design area. Then you need to add the material toolbar component inside the app bar layout component. But I find it easier to do this on the XML side. Therefore, I click on the split tab and open the XML part. I will open a new tag in main layout and write app bar layout. The width of the app bar layout will be match parent, and its height will be wrap content. Now we need to specify the background color of this layout. We will use the background property for this. You can use a color that you defined in the color.xml file as the background color. But to automatically pull this color from the system, I will define it as follows. I put a question mark and write ATTR. ATTR is the abbreviation of the attribute. After slash, I write color primary. As I said before, you can use any color you want here. But when you write in this way, we get the color defined automatically from the system. Yes, we also need to define the constraints of the app bar layout since our main layout is constraint layout. I'll pin this to the top. Right and left, we can get the necessary codes for this from text view here. I'm copying these 3 lines from the text view component, and I'm pasting it here. Yes, the app bar layout is ready. Now let's add the toolbar to this layout. I will close the tag of the app bar layout by pressing the Shift and less than keys on the keyboard. Let's open a new tag here and add the material toolbar. The width of the toolbar will be match parent, and its height will be wrap content. We will also define some properties here. For example, let's add a title to the toolbar. We will use the title property for this. For example, let the title be top app bar. We can also define a subtitle if we want. For this, we will use the subtitle feature. Let the subtitle be implementation. We can also change their color. We will use the title text color property for the color of the title. Again, I will choose it from the colors defined in the system. Therefore, the color of the title will be color on primary. We will also use the subtitle text color property for the color of the subtitle. This will be color on primary. We can also add a navigation icon. Of course, first of all, let's create an icon in the drawable folder. I right-click on the drawable folder. Let's select the new vector asset options. I click Clip Art. Let's choose a menu icon. We chose our icon. Now let's create our icon by clicking the Next and Finish buttons respectively. Icon created. Now let's add this to the toolbar. We will use the navigation icon feature for this. Let's select the menu icon that we added to the drawable folder. Yes, we can also change the color of the icon. We will use the navigation icon tint feature for this. Let this be color on primary. Yes, as you can see, we created the toolbar ourselves. Now let me show you one advantage of using system color here. Normally, we use separate colors for both light mode and night mode while making our designs. But when you pull the colors from the system, the ones for the night mode are already created, and you don't waste time on this. For example, let's change the theme to night mode. As you can see, both the color of the toolbar and the color of the elements on it have changed automatically because the color primary and color on primary colors we use have equivalents for both light mode and night mode in the system. I think this is okay. Finally, let's learn to use our own colors instead of system colors and end the video. I open the theme file. If you remember, we have converted the items here into comment lines. Now let's activate them again. Yes, we can now use the colors here instead of the system colors. In other words, we have actually performed an override operation for the colors. For example, when we use a color primary, the purple 500 we defined will be valid instead of the color defined in the system. Let's go back to the activity main.xml file and observe the changes. The page is being refreshed. And yes, as you can see, the colors of the status bar and toolbar are now the colors we defined. Perfect. Yes, guys, in this video, we learned how to implement Toolbar in our app designs using the Material 3 library. I hope it was useful. See you in other videos.